Hello, 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 everyone. This is Coach Powell from Coach Powell Training Development, and I'd like to welcome you to Coffee Tea, you and me. Here's where we make it happen for small businesses all over the world. People log in, they check in, they ask questions, they engage, and we're hoping that you're going to do today that same exact thing. If you hear something, share it. If you need to, pass it on. Feel free. It's not even a problem. Make sure that if you're watching this, and I don't care where you're watching it from, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, make sure you like this. Make sure that you share it. Make sure that you subscribe and do all those wonderful things that you possibly can do so that we can keep this kind of programming coming to you. I am so thankful for my brothers of Phi Beta Sigma who support this effort of mine to help and improve the lives and the opportunities for small businesses all over the world. We get a chance to uncover and unpack some of the deeper issues and some of the things that are meaningful to small businesses leaders. And I learn it from my clients who I'm so blessed to have a roster of full clients that continue to pour into me their stories and their challenges, and I get to help them negotiate those challenges in a brilliant way. But at the same time, I get to continue to hear, what are the issues and what are new small businesses out there facing right now, and how can we start to develop the kind of training, the kind of support that they need to have in order to do so. So if you're following me, you understand that we are on the last episode of the current training program, the current training series, actually, that we've been dealing with. And the title of the series is literally the RAPapproach. It's modeled after the program that I created years ago. And I created this program because I recognize in corporations and associations and organizations everywhere, people simply weren't treating each other well. Now, you may think, so what's the big deal? People just show up to do their job, right? They have a job description, they have a mandate, they have performance measurements, all the things, KPIs, all the things they need to do to be productive. So what's the problem? Why are we even talking about any of this kind of stuff? But we're talking about this kind of stuff because traditional management, as we know it, literally is based on a carrot and stick approach, meaning you give people the kind of rewards for the behaviors that you want them to have as a leader, either through the carrot or the stick, right? Well, the carrot is crunchy, it's juicy, it's wonderful, and it's something that you can chase after and feel good about achieving. Or the stick is not necessarily a good motivational tool. it might temporarily motivate someone to change their behavior when they're treated harshly or forced into a situation where they're not going to be feeling welcome or a sense of belonging or any type of connection that's going to be meaningful to them. And at that point in time, on the workplace or the social environment or the association or whatever they're doing becomes dreadful. It becomes dreary. It becomes boring. It becomes even oppressive, quite frankly. And there's not a way to get the best out of people when they feel looked down on or when they don't feel appreciated. And so I'm going to sum up today. Today's the summation of the whole program today about creating positive, engaging social environments using the RAP approach. The approach is trademarked to me, so I have to let you guys know that I don't have a problem with you using it, but use it for good, right? So if you want to get a copy of it, you can go to the comment section and you can basically download your own copy. Whether you are watching us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, you can find that copy and you can keep that copy on your own hard drive. Do what you need to do with it. But it's 29 of the most powerful training pages that I think I've ever created. And it's such good work that I've been able to duplicate its success over and over and over again with companies that I've worked for, companies that I've worked with, people that I've been associated with in organizations, trade associations, nonprofit associations, no matter where you are, the RAP approach works. The RAP approach works because it deals with the core basic human function, which we're going to get into later on in the show. All right, so here's a little bit of etiquette that I want to share with you about the show. I want you, no matter where you're coming from, no matter what you're doing, no matter when you're watching the show, to log into the chat. Tell us where you're coming from. Share your name, the town that you're from. Give a shout out to whatever small businesses that you want to do, you want to link to. Feel free to link your own business in the chat so that we can see your website or your product offering or whatever it is that you're doing to promote you. Why are we doing this here? Because this is a business friendly environment. You're not going to see any advertisements that I promote on here, other than the sponsors for this particular program. But you won't see a lot of um, you know commercials or anything like that. That's not coming from someplace else. It's not coming from me. Now, I'm not generating. I'm not making any cash on those things, right? So understand that this is about you. This is about your questions. This is about your engagement. This is about an opportunity for you to grow in your entrepreneurial mindset, in your business acumen, in your ability to move yourself, your teams forward. Now, as a leader myself, I've had a lot to learn for a lot of years about what works and what doesn't work, specifically when it comes to people. And I have to say, a good friend and mentor for many years always coached us, Dr. Stephen Covey, before he passed, used to tell us all the time whenever I was in the training program with him, he would always emphasize this fact. Um, when it comes to leadership, you need to understand this. You manage systems, you manage programs, you manage processes, but you lead people. And if you find yourself using the same management tactics that you would to lead people, then you're going to find yourself offending people. You're going to find yourself demeaning and demoralizing to people, and you're going to find yourself being a part of the problem versus being a part of the solution. Now, as a leader, I totally believe that it is our responsibility to create the environment by which the people that we work with, whether it's a collaborative partnership or some kind of joint venture arrangement, or if it's going to be um, an employee situation or it's going to be any type of stakeholder situation, it becomes the leader's responsibility and every leader that's also a part of that situation to try to create for themselves and for others an environment in which they feel safe. That's why I wrote the RAP approach. I wrote the RAP approach because we have lost, in my opinion, the ability to help each other and to inspire each other to create those types of environments. And when we don't feel safe in an environment, no matter what that environment is, it is impossible. Hear me. It is impossible to give your best effort when you don't feel safe, when you don't feel understood, when you don't feel heard, when you don't feel respected. It is impossible for you to willingly make that sacrifice over and over and over and over and over again in that situation without doing damage to yourself. The stress that you will take on, the risks that you will take on, the negative feedback that will permeate everything that you do, the loneliness, everything that comes from isolation and comes from not having a sense of belonging, but a sense of othering constantly over and over and over again will kill you. As a human being, you have to have nurturing. You have to have people who are willing to go the extra mile for you. You have to have people around you who are supportive and kind. When you don't, it's impossible for you to perform at your best. I know you're thinking, well, I just need to get this thing done right now. Oh, I just need this thing to happen right now. I just need this transaction to go smoothly, right? But no matter what that transaction is, no matter what that you're asking a person to do, if you're creating a hostile environment vis-a-vis your communication, how you wield authority, how you share opportunities, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're not thinking about creating that positive, engaging, open and honest communication, the social environment that works for them, you are a part of the problem. Okay, so let's get into it. What is the RAP approach and what is this RAP approach all about? We're going to close out the entire thing. For those of you all who haven't had a chance to download it, you can go to the chat right now and download it. You can go to the show notes for this program and download it. This is a free tool that I'm using to help all the small business owners, entrepreneurs, the leaders that could possibly benefit from this. If you know someone who could benefit from it, share it with them. Share the video, share the free complimentary guide. Do whatever you want to do. Make sure that if you do use it, you do it in whole. Um, Understand this is my trademark material, and I'm sharing it freely. So I'd love it if you would be willing to give me attribution. I can't follow up on it. I don't have a whole bunch of lawyers out there to attack you if you don't. So feel free. I'm sharing it with you because I want you to feel free to use it in your organizations, in your corporations, whatever associations you belong to. It's a great tool for you to create the kind of environment you need to create that people can feel safe and then they can perform their best work. Let's break it down to you. Let's break it down to what it is and why it works. What is the RAP approach? First of all, RAP is an acronym. It stands for respect, affection, and praise. Respect, affection, and praise. Now, put in place, this acronym works together as a systemic approach to creating the kind of positive social engagements and social environments that we all want to create. Now, but it's not just the basics of respect, affection, and praise. But what I mean by that, I mean, we're not just talking about the rudimentary words and what they mean. We are going to discuss that. We're going to talk about that in the program. But the process is more nuanced and more subtle. And there's lots of reasons why, which we'll get into in just a second. We're talking about professional respect, not just respect, professional respect, appropriate affection, not general all out affection, but appropriate affection. And we're also talking about authentic praise. And in these sections, you have to know, how do you give these things? How do you receive these things? How do we give these things together? And how do we receive them collectively together? Because it matters You're talking about the social environment. So it's not just you. It's how you relate to people. It's how you identify with people, how you share empathy and understand all things when it comes to, communication and performance. So professional respect is the first thing that you have to understand completely and embrace. And I'm gonna just give you some highlights because I'm not going into the document with you guys. You guys can read that on your own. But understand this: you cannot give and share professional respect in the workplace if you don't even know what it is or what it looks like. And I gotta promise you, what you learn growing up about respect, this is not what it is. We're not talking about respect your elders and do basically do what I say do, right? Or make sure that you don't speak out of turn, or make sure that you don't, when you're a child and you're taught respect. You're taught respect from this authoritarian, um, you know, ideology and concept that means there's somebody who is so far above you that you can't even question, you can't even challenge, you can't even share anything of meaningful or even ask a meaningful question sometimes if it's not in the right way or the right cadence or the right space, or you're going to get in trouble. And then we've also been taught this overall general respect. We got to respect everybody. Everybody deserves respect. All of that is wrong. I'm going to repeat. All of that is wrong. Respect does not mean make bow down or sacrifice yourself humbly to somebody who is lording, their power and authority over you. That is not respect. It is also not trying to, um, give it to be respectful of every single person that you meet. Here's why: because the definition of respect, you can go look this up, is to show honor and to adore someone specifically for something that they have done, something they have said, or something that you have witnessed them doing or saying that somehow opens up that warm, friendly, fuzzy feeling inside yourself that makes you honor them, that makes you feel like they've said or done something significant, meaningful, relevant, that can now enhance you in this moment or in the future of your life. That is what respect is. Now, when you're going to show respect to someone else, you've got to learn how to do that responsibly. You have to know how to do that professionally. In the workplace, you can't just fan out and faint because somebody said something amazing. This is not a rock concert, right? You can't uh, hold it in either. You can't have a moment where someone has said something or done something or witnessed something that you thought was amazing, powerful, great, whatever terminology you want to give it, right? You also can't swallow it. You can't sit on it. Why? Because every single person you interact with in the workplace, in your associations, your organizations, your referral groups, whatever it is you're working with, wants to know that whatever offering or contribution that they have made is meaningful, it's significant, it's relevant. And the only way they know is if you somehow indicate to them that you've received what they've shared and what they've contributed, and it's meaningful and positive to you, right? So you have to tell them, you have to emote, you have to not just tell them in a pan can kind of monotone way. You have to share, and you have to do that with your emotions. Oh my God. Yes. Did I say emotions? Yes, I did. Because they need to feel the respect that you're sharing to them. They need to accept it and embrace it in order for them to feel connected and closer to you, but also connected and closer to the contribution that they're making within the environment, the workplace, whatever it is that they're making a contribution in. If they don't feel it, they don't feel honored or adored, then you have not adequately transferred what needs to be transferred in order to appropriately respect them. You're not being professional in terms of how you're sharing what your thoughts and feelings are about the wonderful things that they are contributing or have contributed that you were a part of, you experienced, you witnessed, whatever it is. You got to do it that way. And you got to pay attention to it. If you don't, you miss the opportunity to help another person feel meaningful, relevant, and significant. Now, let's just unpack this for a second. When you make a person feel like they've said or done something meaningful, relevant, significant to you, right? Immediately, what occurs to them is they begin to like you, right? It's impossible for someone to adore you professionally and do it well, for you not to somehow, if you are emotionally intelligent, you're going to feel a certain way when someone comes to you and goes, I see what you've done. I was a part of the whole thing. I saw you knock it out of the park. And it was such an impressive display of talent, courage, ability. And I have to say, I'm forever changed about what we could possibly do and how we could do blah, 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 what we can accomplish because of your example, because of your contribution, because of the gift and the talent that you shared with us. And I want to thank you for it. I want you to know that I truly, truly appreciate it. That's respect. How do you think one could hear that and not feel connected to the person who gave them, share that level of respect with them? There's a connection that has to occur. It doesn't matter if that person is below you in an organization or above you in an organization or beside you in a group or team or working with you on a project or distance, whatever it is that you can see, hear, and feel the timbre of their voice, the inflection, the true passion that comes out of that. That is respect, received, shared, and valued. Let's go on to the next idea when it comes to rap approach, because that's respect. The next idea when it comes to the rap approach is appropriate affection. Guys, this is super, super important. Do not turn this into anything but appropriate affection. All right. Affection has to be there. It has to be part of how you interact with people. Because without affection, it's very difficult for people to understand that they are cared for and cared about. I don't care. Keeping it professional does not mean keeping it ineffective. If you want to be effective with people, you're going to have to somehow share feelings appropriately. You're going to have to share those emotions that you have. Well, let me tell you what happens when you do this well. There are 4 chemical reactions that occur when human beings are working together and they do it well. One, there's the dopamine response. Dopamine is that hormone that allows us to get excited and allows us to focus, right? Then there's serotonin. Serotonin is that hormone that allows us to keep things at an even keel. Just make sure that we're We're plugging along. We're doing the thing. It feels great what we're doing. Just gonna keep it in an even keel. We're not gonna get overhyped. We're not gonna get we're not gonna have fear. We're not gonna have a lot of doubt and hesitation. We're just gonna stay kind of steady, steady, steady. It's oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love drug, right? Oxytocin is gonna make us feel closer and connected to each other in a more intimate way. And I don't mean intimate in a negative or sexual kind of way. I mean intimate in a closeness kind of way. That's the kind of closeness that you would share with someone when you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. That's the kind of closeness you'll share with someone when you are seeing something that is working exceptionally well and you enjoy the excitement of the doing and the opportunities along with them so much that you're in flow state with them. You start to connect on that level. The last emotional response is the clear reduction in stress, reduction of stress, reduction of fear, reduction of doubt, blame, shame. None of this exists when you're doing this appropriate affection correctly. Now, how do you do it correctly? A part of what I learned about this, and I learned from Marshall Goldsmith wrote a book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And what got you here won't get you there. Goldsmith broke down a couple of things that were phenomenally important to me specifically. And one of those things was understanding how to give and receive feedback, right? Communication when it's all said and done. But if what happens in an environment where you're encouraged to give feedback to one another, and that feedback is accepted for what it is intended to be, right? The reason you give somebody feedback is because you can see better things for them. You want to receive better outcomes from them. You want to see them be better. As a result of being better, they're going to do more. They're going to be more effective. They're going to be more efficient. They're going to increase their growth, and more wonderful and positive things are going to happen because of them, around them. And it's just kind of how the universe works together, right? So that positive feedback that you want to give, that you want to share, can't be given onto an empty vessel, meaning the person has to be available emotionally to receive the feedback. If the feedback is positive and that person is ready to receive the feedback because they either asked for it or they created an environment or an organization or uh, um, a pool of opportunity where feedback flows back and forth, that is how everybody knows they're relevant. That is how everybody knows they're meaningful. That's how everybody, because the feedback is coming and it's positive feedback. It's coming to help support you. It's coming to help develop you. It's coming to help you see perspective that you maybe did not see. And you don't give positive feedback to people that you don't like. You're not likely to do that, right? But people that you do like, people that you do enjoy, people that you have witnessed, seen, and have respect to, you're likely to give them that positive feedback. And that positive feedback is going to create all those chemical reactions that I just shared with you earlier, right? They're going to help people feel like they have a sense of belonging. They're going to have to feel like they're connected. It's going to help them feel like what they're doing and where they're doing it in the environment they're in is great, is wonderful. They're going to feel great about being in that space because they're getting positive feedback, not just from the leader, but from everybody around them. You're sharing and you're paying attention. I have to say this, none of this can happen if we don't pay attention, if we don't seek to look for opportunities to find something that someone's doing that we have respect for. It takes a conscious effort. to watch them doing what they're doing, to see them doing what they're doing, to share with them how you're feeling about what they're doing in a positive and meaningful way. So that goes back to, respect, right? You have to, in order to respect somebody, you have to witness it. You have to witness something that they've done, something that they've said, something that they've shared. That's amazing to you. Other than that, it's impossible to adore and honor them. They, you know how they used to say, I used to hear this on how respect is earned. It's also, it's only earned when you understand it and witness it as something that is relevant, something that is special, something that's meaningful. If you don't do that, if you don't take the time to pay attention, yes, it costs you to pay attention to others, especially in the work environment, in the associations that you belong to, within the referral groups that you belong to. It costs you your time and your attention, which is some space in the cognitive development of your own brain that you're willing to give and share to someone, just in witnessing who they are, what they're saying, what they're doing, what's going on with them, asking engaging questions that help them um, show up in a bigger and better way. Practicing your active and your reflective listening skills so that you can be sure that they feel understood, and in their feeling understood, they're going to show more of themselves and more of their character and more of their competence. And it's going to allow you to find that thing that you do in fact respect. I hope you guys are with me on this one, because it's very, very subtle, but important to recognize that you cannot respect someone you do not pay attention to. How often you pay attention to them, the quality of the attention that you pay matters. It matters directly and it matters importantly, right? Okay, so let's go to the next thing. The next part of the process for understanding how that approach works is understanding and dealing with authentic praise. Now, I hinted with you earlier, right? When you're going to share affection with someone, it probably comes through the wrapping of authentic praise. You authentically feel like they've said or done something amazing and you've witnessed it and you want to praise them for it. Praise is not just about shouting from the rooftops that this person is amazing. It could be intimate and personal. It could be in the group, but you got to be careful. If the praise isn't absolutely genuine, then it's going to backfire on you. Because, and I'll give you an example. I'm thinking that I just bombed in a presentation or something that I was responsible for, and you come to me and you say, "Oh, Marvin, you did so great. That was so wonderful what you shared." I'm gonna look at you like something's wrong with you. You know, you didn't see what I saw. You weren't in the same space that I was in, because in my mind and in my feelings at that time, I'm not feeling adequate. I'm not feeling like I gave it my best. I'm not feeling up to snuff, so to speak. And you're gonna come here with this praise. I'm wondering if you have the discernment, if you have the wisdom, the judgment, the insight that you need to have to offer this to me, because you clearly didn't see what I saw. So I'm not available to receive the praise. And if you do it in public, it's even worse, because now I'm embarrassed, because I feel like everybody else saw me bomb and you're the only idiot, who's coming in with this happy-go-lucky, positive, you know, um, and it doesn't work. I'm gonna run away from you in future. I'm not gonna run to you. I'm not gonna try to find ways to connect deeper with me. I'm just gonna put you in a box um, that says that you're not a person that I really want to be around, because you're not giving me any real uh, positive feedback. You're not telling me what I need to know. Um, Constructive criticism, so to speak. Right? You're not doing anything to help me move forward. You're trying to gas me up. And it's not going to work because my feelings are overwhelming and yours doesn't have a chance to get in. Because I'm telling the story for myself. You suck. You're not good enough. You're not ready for the promotion. You're not ready for the opportunity. You shouldn't have, you've been outclassed. You've been, all the things I'm telling all the negative self-talk I'm giving myself is not going to match up to you no matter what level you are in the organization or association. You could be the boss. You could be the boss's boss. But if I know I messed things up, then I'm not going to receive it well. Conversely, if I did a wonderful presentation, and I did my homework, and I did the research, and I did everything I needed to do to make sure that I was showing up authentically at my best, and I did it. I did it. And you come to me and you say, "Oh my God, that was the best briefing I've ever heard, Barb. I really liked specifically. You said this thing that really brought attention to something I was doing that I need to change, and I need to be more effective in that. And I really appreciate that you brought this specific idea, a concept out. Your whole briefing was wonderful, but this thing is really what made it sing to me." That is the kind of feedback. That is the kind of praise. That is the kind of compliment that you could give to somebody that relatively lets them know that not only what they did was meaningful, the work that they put into the preparation that they did was good. And it validates what I may have already thought. I already thought I put the work in. I already thought you're reminding me. Not only did I do a good job, but specifically for you, this piece was amazing. And it's gonna help you do something else with it. If you were specific about that something else, even better, right? Because the praise has to be genuine, but it also has to be specific. When it's specific, it's easier for people to accept it. And when it's heartfelt and it will cause you to change either a process or a behavior, it's so much more meaningful than when it's just broad general, "Oh, this was amazing, this was wonderful." I'm not Oprah. I don't need you to fan out like that. I need you to tell me specifically what I did, what I said, what happened because of whatever um, uh, contribution I made. I need you to tell me specifically what that is so that I can then, go back and sharpen my saw. Go, check. I'm doing well with that. I need to do better with this because I really have some gifts here. I really have some skills here. I need to really figure out how I can magnify this and grow this even better. So practice this with your fellows everywhere. Try to start at home. A lot of people find that if you can start to do these small things at home, you can do a great thing. So let me give you some examples to play with. If you're a parent, you have children or grandchildren around, and there's opportunities for you to help them begin to understand what respect really is. And you can do that by being first to share and give respect to them by saying, "Hey, Johnny, hey, Susie, whatever the child's name is, I really love that you did this, that, and the other. Show grandpa how you did that and why you did it. Do it again, because guess what's going to happen? That child is going to fall in love with you because you're falling in love with them. Again, it has to be authentic, but let them know that they're doing something amazing, something fantastic, something great. You never know how that particular thought process could resonate within a child and could help them hone in on maybe what their gifts and talents really are, what their God-given purpose might be in life. And the earlier they receive that purpose and can start to develop that purpose, later on, they're going to be protected against all of the negative energy that might come in their direction and tell them, no, you're doing the wrong thing. No, you're not good at this. No, no, but they know what makes them happy and they know what they are good at because you help them learn it, right? You gave them hugs when they needed to have those hugs. You made sure that you didn't withhold affection because when you withhold affection, you can't help that kid get that oxytocin going, and they don't know how to react to one another. They don't know how to react to other people. They don't know how to genuinely enjoy other people's success, and they don't know how to function in a human society where we all are responsible for one another and create an environment where others, all of us, can have success and joy and happiness. And finally, none of it works well without the praise. None of it. Again, don't withhold any of this kind of stuff. Make sure, I gotta give you this disclaimer, because a lot of times the reasons why we don't show professional respect, we don't use appropriate affection, we don't really use authentic praise with one another is because we're afraid. We're afraid we don't know how. We're afraid it's inappropriate. We're afraid that here's how you get around all that. Ask permission. It's okay to say, I want to share something with you, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate. So, if it's not, will you let me know, or can I have permission to share what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling with you? The person says yes, they just gave you permission. Let it go. Now, I'm not saying walk around and touch people or hug them inappropriately or anything like that, but I am saying there's an appropriate time to show deep and meaningful connection with one another everywhere we go. That's okay to ask the question. It's okay to inquire. Maybe someone's trying to be affectionate with you and you're not sure what their intentions are. Ask them, why are you doing this? Is it something that um that you're looking for, something that you want? It might be appropriate, it might not be appropriate. But before you get offended, you know, take a time to recognize you're talking to a human being, right? And human beings are a lot more fragile than we want to give each other credit for. We say things to each other like, "Oh, you didn't learn to take a joke," or "You need to toughen up, Buttercup." And we say those words because someone has responded to something that we've done, that we've said, that we've participated in, that has been off-putting to them, that has been creating a non-safe environment for them. It's not okay to be offensive. Mm-mm. It's not okay to be disrespectful. Mm-mm. We have to do the things that we need to do to create the environments that we want to live and enjoy working in and being a part of. And what we have to do, all of us, and everybody's responsible for it, is the rap approach. I hope you guys got a lot out of today's talk. I know I did. I don't think there's any questions in the queue or anything for me to work from, but understand that no matter whether you're watching it or watching, always you can ask questions, even if you're watching this on demand. Because what's going to happen is other people who are watching it, and they're going to get these, they're going to be able to see your question, and you never know who's going to respond or what might happen. But what you don't need to do is hold it all in and keep it to yourself. That is not how you create engagement. You have got to be willing to emote, even in text in the chat. Okay, I hope the guys got something out of that. Next week, we're going to start talking about a brand new series, and I don't even know what it is yet, so I'm not going to tell you. But I'll dig something up from the archives that I think is relevant to today, right? And then we're going to start working on that series for small business leaders. Hopefully, you guys had a great time. I know I did. I'm signing off. This is Coach Powell. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.